Hello?
Hello. Hi,
Yeah,
Gefest.
yeah, hello. How's your day?
It's going all right so far. How's yours?
It's going good, yeah. It's going good. So, what's the latest news so far?
Um, yeah, I'd say the latest with Overwatch is I came back off of like a little over a 2 month break. I think about like 2 weeks ago, I started playing again. Um, Ended up playing on an alt account and trying to get that to GM, but I was mainly trying to play Ana, like basically Ana only. Um, because I figured like my main account that I got to GM, I think in like season 9, I was playing a lot of Kiriko. So this time I wanted to kind of do it with a character that I feel like doesn't have like immortality or get out of jail free cards. So it would force me to like practice my fundamentals and stuff.
Hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I got fairly close. I got to like Masters 1, like Masters 1 50%, I think. Um, and then I started going like 50-50, and I'm kind of like fluctuating through Masters 2 now, and sometimes
Makes
Masters
sense.
One, kind of like up and down around that area. So
Hmm.
I think I'm close to playing at a GM level with Ana, but there's probably something I'm just missing that's kind of keeping me back.
Makes sense, yeah. Is there's anything what do you think you might be missing? Maybe is there's anything what you struggle with at the moment?
Um, I actually don't know. I want to say it's like, although it's something I'm actively like doing, I want to say it's like actively rotating away from like flankers.
Mm-hmm.
I have a tendency to, and this is what I think is losing me some games, is like, yeah, like rotate actively rotating from flankers. Like sometimes when I die to them, I tend to just forget about them, and then by the time I start to rotate, it's too late. Like the Tracer's already on me, or the Genji's already on me. Um, and then there's some games where I feel like I just get uh like low value out of my anti nades, especially when I'm playing against, like, I noticed the big two are like Zarya and Diva.
Oh yeah.
It's just harder for me to land anti nades. Um, that kind of thing. Yeah,
I
at least is
see.
what I think it is.
I see. Yeah, it sounds like some sort of scouting, maybe awareness problem, sort of game sense wise. I think that is something what we might need to work on a little bit more based on what you mentioned. I think so far, but we can take a look. Of course, we can take a look at the replay.
Mhm.
If you have any recent games, I think going through all of those problems can be good. Yeah, do you have any recent games we can go over with you?
Mhm. I've actually been playing a lot. So I think I need to figure out what game would be best to look at. I think especially around this time, it's a bit weird because even though I'm like Masters 2, and even when I was M1, I'd fluctuate between like the lobby ranges. Be very weird. Sometimes I get like full Masters lobbies. Sometimes I get lobbies up to like champ.
Hmm.
Um, uh, I'm not noticing too much of a difference in win rate between the two, but I mean the type of gameplay experience between both lobbies is definitely different.
Mm-hmm. I think
Um,
especially if you know you try to bust and the game might be a good one to look at. Again, if it's a close game, it's even better. That's
mhm.
what I would start with for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna let me see. Yeah, I want to skim through
Yeah, take your time.
a couple of games. Just need to remember how these went. Yeah, I've had a couple games where I guess. Hmm. I've had a couple games where like the first round will be close, like a control point game where the first round will be close, but then like the second two is just not close at all. Like they cap and then we just literally can't ever push through.
Hmm,
And
interesting. Mm-hmm.
yeah, sometimes I wonder if those games are because of me or oh, here I think I found maybe this Hollywood game is good. This one was a draw.
Yeah, let's take a look. Okay, I'm screen sharing. Can you see my stream just fine?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So in this game, do you feel like it was tough for you to kind of track certain characters, like I mentioned, maybe tracking Tracer, tracking Genji's, maybe player versus something in specific? Is it something what you struggle with in here as well, or is there anything else? What do you think about this game?
Um, I actually don't recall if the enemy team played. Oh yeah, they did play a tracer this game. I don't recall how much I struggled with the tracer. I just remember this game was just tricky for some reason.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And this is you, I assume,
Let
or
me
it's
see.
what's your name?
Uh,
There.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Ana on blue team. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Let's watch. We have this position on the top, starting doing some sort of just a little bit of healing towards the team. I think in general this position is okay. Might seem sometimes a little bit less proactive because you're not able to do early pressure on the enemy spawn, but still this is pretty reasonable position to start with. Applying the damage towards the point, using the nades. Okay, the tracer's going after us, and this is where they get you, right? So
Hmm.
I think my question is, what are you aiming for with your abilities on the field here? Is there any thought process you have? Anything you want to keep your abilities for? Maybe any good moment for you to use those in general? What do you think?
I think in general, well, I'd like to purple targets that are being shot at by my team. I think like the queen's a good one. Like
Yeah,
my queen and their queen are
yeah.
fighting. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I think the tricky part here with the tracers, I'm 90% sure the tracer came from the left side. But I think before the tracer even shot me, I had no idea they had a tracer. Like I hadn't scouted that. I just dropped because I got shot by the Sojourn. Maybe
Hmm.
if I knew they had a tracer coming left, I would have rotated right onto the elevator or
Exactly.
somewhere near there.
Exactly. It seems that the most important part when you're fixing this problem, and it's not just, well, you could have maybe used your ability better, like your sleep better. It's most likely why we use those abilities too early or sometimes a little bit too fast is that because there's no information, so you just get rushed. You're trying to be real quick with the decision. So I'm thinking to be able to scout for the information, to be able to just understand where the tracers or maybe where those threats might be. What can you do? What should you be doing? What do you think? So it seems you have kind of fun position here, right? Just in general
Yeah.
feels, yeah, it's pretty decent position. But for some reason, we didn't notice the tracer, right? For some reason, there was something missing, right? I think there was a moment where I could have known that the tracer is there, but yeah, what do you think? What could you do even before the fight to be able to scout them?
To scout the tracer. Oh,
Potentially, yeah.
I could have peeked more aggressively, I think. Like as soon as they come out of spawn, because I think I would
Hmm.
be fairly safe there, and then just rotate back to this position.
Actually, not bad idea too. Yeah, it's kind of connects us to what I mentioned before. Yeah, I think when you have this time before the fight, I definitely think it's a good idea to put up early pressure, especially if your team members, some of them are already doing that, and then later you rotate towards here. You can rotate towards this high ground again and try to just shoot. Yeah, shoot what's happening there. But in general, I'm also thinking something for you to keep in mind. So, okay, let me just write down scouting. Okay, scouting. So we can do scouting in, let's just call it poke phase. When you have the time before the fight, we can just scout for information. You can just adjust depending on the situation, because you see certain character, maybe you can position in a different way. For example, if I know that they have Widowmaker, I probably wouldn't peek this angle too much. I wouldn't stay here too long, but if they have some sort of flanker, maybe they have Tracer. They actually swap to that. There's kind of Sim TP swap to Tracer. Yeah, I don't think it's too valuable here on this map. But well, anyway, they did that. But that is something you can notice. You can notice before, and then later you can position. Okay, this is one. But even after you position, yeah, if even after you done the setup, you can also scout again. And this is what I like to call in you have this sort of engagement flow. When you got information, you're trying to go somewhere, but then even after here, you still want to do some sort of scouting, get information. So I'm thinking, maybe if you up there, yeah, let's say you did the scouting beforehand, but then you just decide to set up here, which makes sense. What can you do to notice the threat? What can you do to also just comfortably track if they come towards you or not? What's your thoughts?
Like, what can I do if the tracer push me?
Well, scout them. Yeah, what can you do once you set up this position as well? This is my question.
Oh, is it like assuming I've scouted them already, or
Let's say you didn't. This might be more tricky. Yeah, let's say you don't know. Let's say you still don't know, not sure, maybe, right? So I'm just curious, yeah, because in here, this position, something we could have noticed, right?
I
When
did see the yeah, I saw the blink,
Mhm.
but I feel like while it was in game, it just happened so fast for me to notice.
Right, right. Okay, so this might be the one. Yeah, maybe the blink is it's like a small part, but even when there's no blink, let's say it's hard for you to notice the visual. I think to confirm what they have, you have to press tab. When you 15 seconds in, you have to know
Oh,
what the exact comp is, and this way you just understand what kind of sweats they have. Because even now, when you drop from the surgeon, I think if you press tab, you could have already known, oh, they have trace of where they are. You would expect them. Just pressing the tab and seeing, where they might be. And most likely expect Tracer to be here. This is what it's all about. You trying to just anticipate, trying to understand where the threat are at any point of time, and just understand their location and prepare the resource, so it will be not rushed. It will be easy, I think. Doesn't make sense so far, or yeah,
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 yeah. I
yeah.
think well, yeah, it makes sense. But I just wonder if it would be tricky for me to do that while like we're already mid fight, like if they're already implying me like that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but you have to, right? So let's just try to find the moments of downtime when you don't do that. Yeah, let's just maybe have this scouting. Yeah, we can have the three questions. What do you do? We mentioned, well, we can scout on poke phase. We can also press tab. This is what you do. But when? Yeah, when is the tricky part? Okay, so let's watch this clip. So this clip, maybe I can also slow it down a little. Okay, so you do quick shot on the surgeon, and then move here, and then you start reloading, right? Okay, and then there's a pressure already from the team, so this is when you start doing stuff again. So what do you think? By looking at this clip, where could you scout for information? Press tab, for instance.
Like right here,
R-
while I'm
Yeah,
walking to the health pack.
just right there. I think between the reloads is a really good time. This is one. So when there's a reload, this is typically downtime. When you're reloading, you usually should be behind the cover, right? Unless you, I don't know. There might be good reason when you're trying to rotate from one place to another while reloading, but typically you're gonna be around the cover. I think this is one. And another thing is, in general, even though you don't reload, if you cannot see an enemy, I think this is a good time anyway. So right now you cannot see an enemy. I think just quickly scout and check for the information. Pressing tab helps, but you also can look at the visuals. You can, I'm thinking, try to just Also, look at the angles, look at the corners where you might expect some of the pressure to happen, because a lot of your attention was going towards this left angle, but you never checked right as much. Yeah, we never checked right side as much. So this is something what might be helpful, I'm thinking, just from perspective of scouting. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 that
yeah.
makes sense.
Okay, okay. And now, when you know this information, I think it's gonna be easier for you to make the decision. It's gonna be easier for you to decide, okay, what should I do with my ability? Because here, this sleep dart, right? When should you use sleep dart against this tracer? When it's a good time? What do you think?
I think I should it's kind of like a mind game thing. I have to predict or blink or force the tracer to blink somehow. I
Right.
think most tracers, if they shoot if they shoot me from the side, they're expecting like an instant sleep dart like this.
Exactly. You see how they play with the cover as well? They're not even using the blink. They just peek out and go back. Peek out, go back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the fundamental thing about those mind games is you want to you want an enemy to make a commitment, but you don't just wait for commitment. I think you also can put up the pressure. You can definitely pressure the tracer, so they will do something. They will try to just shoot you. They will try to maybe blink. They will try to use recall. Doesn't matter what. But in here, I'm thinking, how can you force them to make a move? What this could be instead of sleep dart, because now it seems it's pretty easy to dodge, I think. But is
I
there
think I
any?
could just shoot and then back up and bait
Mm-hmm.
them inside.
Yeah. Yeah, force them to make a move, and that would be just shooting. I think quick scoping mostly here is gonna be really really good, because you will not lose in the movement, and you also have enough field of view to watch the other angle, because there's a break angle which you needed. It's pretty good, and we also want to shoot that, and maybe the tracer they will not commit, maybe they still hide behind the cover, then you instantly can switch towards this target. Yeah? You don't want to just stay scoped in here 100%. You need to either unscope or quick scope. Versus tracer, quick scoping in here will be okay, because the pressure is really short. You cannot stay for long term pressure, and unscope, well, there's a big chance you might miss. So I think quick scope, then later maybe unscope on one of somebody here, but it depends. I think the main idea is force them to make a commitment and then do something, because this is why you die. This is why you cannot go aggressively anymore, and you could be using the stairs too, right? And but when they commit, we just have the sleep dart prepared. But now this guy can be more aggressive. This guy, you just allow him to be more aggressive, basically, because there's no sleep anymore. The nade was really good, by the way. I think you shut down the aggression. There was a Junker Queen shout as well. That was really, really decent. Mm. Yeah, do you have any questions about all of this so far, or yeah, does it make sense to you?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Nice, perfect. Okay, so we up on this top, and this is the time. This is the time again when you're trying to do scouting. This is the poke phase. We're trying to look around and check, look around and understand. Okay, what's happening on the field? Just checking the visuals, and you're trying to predict. You're trying to predict where the threats might be, where they might come from. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your team kind of got rolled a little bit. Is there anything
Yeah.
you think you could have done during this fight? Because we also might expect the tracer to come from the certain angle. You might expect surgeon to come from a certain angle. Same about Chianca Queen, right? Let's say you just try to anticipate where they might be. Yeah, where they will usually be. Is it this area here, or is there any other good areas for them to start with, just for the enemy
The
members?
tracer?
Oh, let's start with Tracer. Yeah, let's start with the Tracer, I think.
Yeah, I would think the tracer would usually want to come from the left side.
Hmm.
Um, 'Cause I don't see a point of walking down main unless I position on the building across, and for whatever reason, the tracer wants to travel that far to get to me.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Sure, sure. What about Junker Queen, by the way? What about Surgeon as well? Just make it more complicated. Where do you expect them to be, and why?
I feel like those guys are just gonna walk down main. I think their queen is just gonna run into our queen, and then I honestly don't really know, to be honest, because yeah, their queen is left side. Their queen could go anywhere really.
Mm, mm.
It
What
should
is
be different day.
preferable for Junker Queen? If imagine you Junker Queen playing versus you, right? What's a more valuable space for Junker Queen to be at in order to maybe shut you down? Yeah, just try to make sure that they will get to you comfortably because their effective range is short range and your effective range is a long range too. So what is that
Yeah.
space you probably expect them to be?
Probably just anywhere with cover, they can close the distance
Exactly,
and,
cover.
like, not get naded.
Exactly. Yeah, short range space. I think short range space. It's definitely not too deep. I think, but you might expect them inside the building. I think this is okay one. Short range space. Maybe. They can also be inside here. Well, they might run into Junker Queen, but they want to be really careful when staying in the open because they might receive a lot of poke damage from here. That's why some people, they would just run in here. Maybe can also run in here. There's a lot of short range space. But this here, why it's important is because it can educate your position. If you know where the threats are, you can position accordingly and prepare. Prepare your abilities. Prepare the stuff. And I'm thinking on the enemy comp realistically, I'm thinking shorter range threats are more threatening towards you. I think you have an advantage at the long battles versus the enemy comp in general. Maybe Surgeon might a little bit tough. I think especially with the buff. There's a buff on Railgun, I believe. Yeah, so you actually one shot Anna now? Do you know that? I because I haven't tested it yet, but
Um, yeah, I'm not sure.
because there was a
Yeah, but I
change
know
on
that
it.
rail is definitely more powerful.
Yeah, Rail is powerful. I'm not sure about the one shot. I'm gonna be honest, but I can test. I can test meanwhile. But anyway, the short range threats they're still more oppressive. So this is something you want to put your attention on. So I'm thinking, you see, this position here you might be careful is exactly dropping towards the side then. Yeah, you might maybe have the position to be able to put more attention on this angle. So I'm thinking, what if you just keep the stop, or maybe should you be anywhere else to be able to shut down this angle as well, to just shut down the short range threats a little bit easier? What should you do here? What do you think? 'Cause in here, this also might work, right? If you just so the nade just like that, well, maybe it might work. But what do you say? What do you think? Maybe there's a better position to be at as well, or not sure. What's your thoughts?
Uh, I think holding top would have been fine. I don't think there was any
Hmm.
reason for me to drop. I think I just did it just because I saw people on my team walking forward.
So holding top. Well, what if they walk forward? How do you walk forward with them as well? Do you just drop to here, or
Hmm.
is this one? You have multiple choices, but yeah. What do you think?
Um, I'm honestly not sure.
The only question, because I think you have multiple options. I think you have multiple options. The only question is making sure you want to make sure that the quality of pressure is higher. I think that it's gonna be easier for you to shut down those guys. So I'm thinking it's okay. Let's say it's okay to maybe drop in here if you know the jungle coins there on the left side. Like if trying to nade them, maybe your teammates trying to push that, but maybe initially you just want to slightly lean towards the left side just in case and check what's going on in here, check what's you can also check when you're up there what's going on there too. Maybe you might even open up the angle here from elevator just to check for the early pressure and then later go up, but then make a decision after. I think it's just because of expectations, because you want to, when you're trying to shut down short range threats, you also want to poke them a little bit more.
Yeah.
You don't want to get too close, of course. That's why it might be concerning to go in right away, but at least some sort of distance, at least have some sort of distance. Just poke, shoot, and then you can nade. And I think later you can decide what to do. But definitely be careful with committing towards this here instantly. Maybe you can make a difference. Just try to shut down somebody with the sleep nade. Your team kind of got rolled there too, but I think It's just it's a helper anyway. You can farm a little bit more wood charge. You can try to put up early pressure. I think realistically, again, the only way how your team loses is if those guys get on top of you. They have more short range pressure going on. So you can just try to be more preemptive, shut it down. So see, for example, there, you know the Tracer is there. Okay, perfect. Then just put slight pressure on her and make sure she will not be as comfortable in going in. And see, it's all about the quality too. What should you do with your pressure now? Yeah, see what you're missing there. What should you be doing with the shots?
Mm,
Because you're trying to unscope. You're trying to unscope predict. Is it gonna be easy for you to land the shot like that?
uh, no. If
Mm.
I hit a quick scope would be better.
Yeah, you just need to quickscope here, I think. And this is pretty much against those Tracers, Genji, Sombras. A lot of times when they don't make a commitment to do that more, I think you need to, in terms of quality of your pressure, do that more, 100%. And after that, they might commit as well. Maybe they will later they will try to do something, but it's gonna be more expensive for them. If you shoot quickscope shot once, you might even force them out of position completely. Just 2 quickscope shots, they're almost dead, so it might force the recall too. I think it's really important. This is alright. Well, if they make a decision, they fully commit. You just kind of miss the sleep dart, this happens, but the intention is right. There's a commitment. This is what we want to look at. Commitment happens, let's just shut down the threat. But before that, we always trying to force them to make a move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just
I think I
run.
get into a situation a
Mhm,
lot where, because like I saw that tracer there,
mhm.
um, when the tracer is by jail, what I would ideally like to do is like shoot at her, but also rotate like far, like maybe towards the mega right side.
Makes sense.
Uh, but I
Mhm.
instead ended up walking out close to the tracer because I saw my queen, or whoever I thought that was up on the building was crit. So it's like it
Uh-huh.
forces me to just, you know, stop rotating and instead try to heal people.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sometimes you get in a decision like that. Sometimes it's definitely difficult. You cannot be perfect maintaining distance at the same time while pressuring, but at least one of those two things you want to try to be doing. Of course, if you get in the situation we're able to do both, this is ideal, but sometimes, yeah, you also need to heal people, maybe you need to nano. So this is bigger thing. Yeah, this is definitely more important to keep an eye on a critical teammate rather than keeping the distance from the tracer where you're not sure you're gonna die to. Especially if you can put the pressure on them, you have the resources, you can quick scope them as well. So it's not too bad. Yeah, you can definitely stay. I think it's more about those shots for sure in there at least. Okay, in there we at the third point. Just go back. Yeah. As again, where scouting happens. You scout initially. You just try to predict. Okay, where the tracer might be, where the surgeon might be, where their Junker Queen is gonna be, and try to position. Try to just hold the area. Where do you expect the tracer to be?
Um, if she's noticed me here, she's probably going to be coming around that right side in the mega.
Right side. Okay. And this is done. Yeah, first of all, we trying to anticipate, as we mentioned, just trying to know where the threats are and then position and do something. So I'm thinking, let's just do this. Where threats are. Yeah, you can position. This is one. You can have a always not ideal, but maybe a good enough position to be able to deal with them. So I'm thinking this position. If Tracer comes from the right side, is it good enough?
Um, this position,
Hmm.
yeah, because I've got a
Yeah.
minion and I can just drop main for my Juno to heal me.
Yeah, I think this is decent. This is long range angle, so it's gonna be really uncomfortable for them to come in. However, we should do something as well to be able to just push them back. Yeah, you need to force them to make a move, push them back constantly. And what should you be doing to be able to do that comfortably? Because in here,
Mm.
this tracer, well, they might. You actually looked at there. You actually looked at the angle, but kind of moved and just you pretended like it's not there, you know. You just like, oh well, the trace is there. I guess I play by the box, right? But you need to put
Yeah.
up the pressure as well. So I'm thinking, what's the choice? What's there you should be doing a little bit more.
Should look to shoot the tracer before she even like
Maybe,
walks on there.
yeah. So I definitely think don't be afraid of this angle too much. You definitely need to deal with that, but just try to use your field of view a little bit more. In my opinion, here you just need to look around frequently. I think you looked once, but it's okay to look more frequently. One, definitely be careful when staying in scoped in mode in there when you know the tracer isn't here. Be ready, quick scope, and this way it's gonna be harder for her. I think this is good solution. It's definitely uncomfortable in here because there's angle here, there's angle there, but this is really important. You need to put more pressure on this rather than this angle. Healing makes sense. Healing critical makes sense, but pressure should be done here. You're gonna be fast. Pressure here, fast heal. Pressure here, then fast healing there. Maybe even one unscope shots can be reasonable if you're hitting big targets like Junker Queen, but if they go really far, then yeah, it's gonna be uncomfortable. But if you're relatively close distance, like they hear, you hear, might be okay-ish, sort of. You can just test it, but yeah, I think this is might be okay. Now this Tracer definitely takes advantage out of your scoped in mode there. It's just not as a big challenge for them because of it. Easier to land shots. You're doing okay rotating after, right? But it's just that initial clip. They did put the pressure on you before you put pressure on them, and that's what makes it really hard. Hmm. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think the pattern looks like I'm just giving the tracers too much respect and
It
just
might
trying
be
to run from
that.
them instead
Yeah.
of shooting
Hmm.
them.
Hmm. Yeah. They actually do it here, which is fine. You just probably expect them to disengage. I think the Sleep Dart it's okay because you're gonna get it back when the fight happens, but yeah,
Yeah,
still.
I think
Hmm. Yeah.
um one thing I definitely know is like as I climb higher, I usually just have this thought that like the enemy tracer's mechanics are just gonna be like really good. Like the higher that I climb, and it's gonna be less likely that I can 1v1 them, but like maybe the truth is I can get at least a shot or two off and, make their play harder.
Exactly, exactly. This is what you want to do. I definitely wouldn't be. It's definitely okay to sort of expect the skill go higher for the players, but you definitely shouldn't be. Whenever you expect the player's skill to be higher, whenever you notice there's a passive state of you maybe not doing anything towards this and towards the player, I think this is usually wrong. You usually want to still try to do something, even though obviously if I know there's a widow on the angle and it's really easy for them to challenge me when I'm playing Anna. For some reason, well, I don't want to double peak that. Maybe I don't want to maybe challenge them as much, but I still want to find the good opportunities. Maybe the small windows when you have an advantage. Maybe you got a shield. Maybe you got I don't know, just the time between the shots when there's a charge shot and then you can shoot them. And it's similar towards the Tracer too. Yes, their mechanics decent. They can almost one clip, two clip you when they get to you, but make it harder, make it much harder for them. And this way, they might not even get to you because of it. Or maybe you just kill them. By the way, you see a lot of good Annas. They also challenge the Tracer. I think you definitely okay at challenging the Tracer at your favorable range. If she's close, if she's really close, then it's hard. But if you have this kind of a longer angle, whenever I'm here and the tracer is over here, you definitely can put more pressure on them. I think this might work for sure. This is what it seems like. We just need to, yeah, we need to be able to do that. And scouting and just actually putting up pressure, it's a big help. Yeah, sure, trying to save them. I think it's reasonable that you also have Surgeon ult, so it's alright. This is reasonable too. There's a lot of pressure. Jungle Queen went in. We see the commitment. This is what we want to see. Against Tracer, it's a little
Yeah.
bit harder. But against Jungle Queen, they're not as mobile. But yeah, you saw the commitment. Sure, just sleep them, get them. Okay, fine. Against the Tracer, it's more tricky, but still the same idea. Force them to make a commitment, or maybe you notice that they make a commitment for one of your teammates, and you just shut them down. Yeah, this is fine. They go for the Juno. Okay. Yeah, this shot, little shot there is nice. If you just this is what I want to do a little bit more. This is really good. It's put so much pressure on them, and it's gonna be much harder. So see, they even mess up the pools because they need to rush it. They know if they receive extra pressure from you and someone else, they're dead right there. They almost 1 HP after their play, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be harder for them. No, it was good. This sleep dart's not good though. There's no commitment yet. I think we need to expect. You're trying to predict that there's something, but I would just rather see the body language, see what they do, see what they do with their abilities first. Because now you can have your sleep dart, shoot the tracer, force them to make a move, stupid move, or maybe the Jungle Queen is gonna make a stupid move, and then you just shut them down. Use the sleep dart after. I think the
Yeah.
nades are definitely stronger, it feels, compared to sleep. But at least versus this matchup, nades are alright. Yeah, healing this up. Yeah, this is one of this eating. The nade is also kind of eated. You expect, well, you expect these guys to be there, but yeah, you need it here. See, now you definitely know.
Yeah.
Now definitely know the commitment is happening. The surgeon goes in. Maybe you again see something else. This is when you start. This is when you can strike. Yeah,
So
now. Hmm?
should I be holding my nades until I absolutely like see something, some kind of action?
I
Because sometimes I
think.
feel like I'm holding it for too long, and I was like, if I predict they're gonna be there, it's just sometimes I just like throw it.
Well,
But
I wouldn't hold the nade. Let's call that. It's really good to be aggressive using aggressive in the way that you use your nade more frequently. Definitely find the good timings, but I think you need to force an enemy to make the action to actually happen a little bit more. So if I force this enemy to make an action, for example here, I think you just shut down this angle and see the movement on the right side. Okay, this
hmm.
guy's go right. Okay, where should you go to be able to comfortably shoot them? Like maybe staying here is also okay, but what do you think if?
uh,
Yeah,
yeah, I think I could definitely see them more easily if I was right side.
yeah, this is what I
Um,
think. Yeah, you just need to adjust. What happens after is after this adjustment, these guys they see you too, and they will try to make a move towards you, and this is where you shut them down. You don't just wait. I don't like waiting. I think your proactive position, it definitely forces. It's similar to something we talked about on Kiriko, I believe, or Bob was our support sessions before. Yeah, you force an enemy to make a move on you, and it's similar to Ana as well. You can start using your abilities later. So I wouldn't just throw in it, yeah, hoping, well, they might walk. Well, sometimes it might be okay, yeah. Sometimes if there's no other play you can do, well, sure, you can go for it, but mostly, I think in here especially, you can start rotating, and then there's some sort of commitment you will notice, and it's gonna be easier to also see what's happening, and then you'll be like, okay, man, I know when to nade it. Maybe, yeah, this is when they pass the box here. They just start going through the doorway. This is when you're like, okay, it's a good time to strike. You actually see things, and they might even try to push you like Tracer. They would like to push you eventually somehow. It's definitely not the easiest point for them, but they will try to strike, and this is when you sow the nade, I think. Yeah, be more proactive with your position.
yeah,
Hmm.
I
As a
think there
Yep.
is just a balance between me trying to be safe as well, but yeah, I guess because if I play right side, I can also just back into the spawn, like worst case scenario.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be well, definitely bigger, while you're definitely better in terms of just the landing abilities, because we 100% could say if the commitment happens, 100% commitment, you actually see that. You wait for their body language. That's what good analysts do. They wait, they exactly know the body language, what's gonna happen. and
Yeah.
they see the pattern. They see the pattern. Okay, the pattern after Sojin uses the ultimate, most likely expect them to pick out, and this is where you have high chances of landing the nade rather than kind of hoping they walk, not based on zero triggers, based on zero things happening in the field. So they kind of hear, but they can have a choice to walk back or walk forward. But now, if the surgeon uses the ultimate, there's a reason why they walk forward. Or the
Yeah.
Chunka Queen uses shout, there's a reason why they walk forward. But if they just dare, they might walk forward, might stay, might walk back, but you saw the nade still, and there's a less chance of succeeding in this case. This is what I'm trying to say, because some people, they would just see the predictions. Yeah, the good Annas, they also are good at predicting, of course, but the predictions are based on something, based on either hearing or just seeing stuff, and this is what's more consistent. Like hitting the nade here is gonna be more consistent because this is gonna be walking. They're gonna be going in, and this way you can secure more space. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think earlier there was also really no action from my team either, so there's no reason for me to nade. Like I think the queen
Yeah,
was sitting outside and
yeah.
waiting for healing.
This is true. This is true. This is true. Exactly. Yeah. Action is happening, and then we kind of do stuff. Yeah. This been
Yeah.
for the most part this has been pretty decent. This has been good. I think with the nades, but in this case, been kind of tough. It's okay. Well, we'll lose this point, but what about the attack? Is it kind of the same thing there, or yeah? What do you think about attack? Is it still struggle sometimes versus the Tracer? Maybe there's anything else?
Wait, sorry, could you repeat the question?
Oh, yeah. What do you struggle with an attack, you think? Is there anything specific what comes to mind?
Mm, actually, I can't think of specific instances, but I would imagine that attacking into a tracer or flanker is even harder because
Mm-hmm.
like they already have their position, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and just kind of like I walk into an area and then boom, they're there. They don't have to traverse any ground to get to me.
Mm-hmm. Let's watch. So this is what I call proxy position. This is what you do. You're not holding on your nade. You go in on the angle, and you see the opportunity. And this is actions happening from your team, and you see the action from the enemy team as well, and then you start doing stuff. But definitely, you don't want to be using Sip Dart right away because there are cooldowns as well. I think just using nade, usually offensive tool. You initiate with the nade, and then you maybe expect the enemy to use defensive. Hold on your Sip Dart, and then later you probably use that. I think because
Yeah.
these guys they're gonna push you. Somebody's might push you, so you can just bait them. Maybe Tracer pushing one of your teammates too. This is a good time. The nade was fine. The nade was fine though, and your position was proactive. Yeah. Again, proactive position. Shoot the Tracer. Yeah. Walking without team. Careful about Tracer. So we have this angle here. I think this is decent long sideline, but still expecting the Tracer to go on us. This is where scouting is important. You have to keep an eye on them. Shooting here. I think the nade. Yeah, this is tricky. They're pretty close. I think might be still okay to do the nade, but you have to nade here. You have to nade your Ash. I think just
Yeah.
between you guys
I think
because.
I
Mm,
it's just I think I was expecting the tracer to come to me and maybe I just saw her there and I was just gonna like nade and shoot, but I didn't
mm,
even think about my Ash being there.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, this is one of the parts where it's a little bit harder, but this is something you can also try to do. We're not only when we're trying to track the threats, where the threats are, and then we do something. Yeah, based on that, we can position, of course, but we can also try to predict what their actions might be towards our teammates. Sometimes maybe you see, well, this Ash is out in the open, it can act like a bait. I can just try to nade. This most likely gonna be naded. This is gonna be harder for Tracer to go after you compared to Ash because Ash is scoped in. Well, those tiny details. Again, this is something what you can train. You don't have to notice all of this at once, but you can just put on attention when you going in the game. You're gonna be like, okay, well, let's try to maybe press tab more. Let's try to keep an eye on one of those moments when playing versus Tracer, yeah, who might receive more pressure. Yeah, Sculpting guys receive more pressure usually. Okay, if the Tracer's close, let's put more attention on them, and then it's gonna be easier for you to just place the nade. Because here, I think, just know that info, small stuff, and then you nade over here, which is decent. I think this short range nade so might work. Because it's not as telegraphed, it's gonna be harder for the the Tracer to dodge, and then you can nade this guy. Or if it's not the nade, then at least you can just quick scope shot, which is alright. But yeah, definitely the sleep dart. The sleep dart, you need to be careful. You need the commitment. Play around defensive abilities, force out stuff, and sleep. Sleep should be used after. Yeah, yeah. The nade is okay. Tracer go somewhere you can shoot. Okay, pushing up. This is on the left side. We have Nano. Tracer recalled. The jungle queen is pushing up. Nano is okay. This might work like an exception, but be careful. It's just one of those cases where if you know, you're probably gonna get a kill, you might sow the sleep dart, but be careful here. There's still less consistency because the brick, they might shield it, but Okay, there's a Kiriko. Nade is okay. Also shot them. The sip is not. You need. You want the fight, so it's more reasonable, but I would just do what? Because you got the point, just push. Force them to make a move on you, and then use the sip dart later, maybe. Especially
Okay.
versus short range threats like this guy here, the brick, they might be just, oh well, the Sana is alone or something. Well, it might be, maybe not. They probably will kite. If it's a high elo, they will probably kite. They will not challenge you because they know you're trying to bait them. But this is still worth, it's pretty good strategy. It's worth a try. It's a good thing. Your sleep dart allows you to go in aggressively, be more proactive. Okay. Yeah, pushing up. This is critical. Okay. Then right side. Yeah, this is where you force stuff. You force out 45, for example. Now, there's a spear. And, I mean, it's mainly about spin, I think. Defensive ability is more important. The spear is something can when just still throw your sleep dart and be okay with that, but like this guy goes in. Okay. Yeah, the trace again kills you. This is the problem with this angle, right? You need to What do you think you should do here? So there's a surgeon ult, which I get. Yeah, it's hard. I think it's gonna be hard to exist on the open. But then you also die from a lot of pressure on the right side there. I see there's just quite a lot of pressure there. Maybe we could have lived the longer. Maybe he can get a kill with you, at least from more ult charge. What do you think? What do you think?
I could have just rotated all the way out early. I was just concerned with my Sojourn ego peaking, their ulting Sojourn, and dying.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not something, well, let's say you you can try to keep them alive, but they definitely might die from one shot. Just how you move. Well, in this case, I think if you hear Surgeon, and we also know the trace on the right side, I think you're more likely to move on deeper angle. So it's just deeper angle on the back, going maybe towards here, but you want to be careful. Well, you can also maintain the box. Maintain the box. It just seems it's so hard because there's short range potential. There's just Arisa might come in, the Tracer might come in. So I think might be complicated. What do you think about moving towards here? Actually, is it fine or what do you think?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking I should have done.
Yeah.
Uh,
mhm.
that would have definitely protected me from this Tracer and the Sojourn E.
Yeah, and you can also put more pressure too, I think, because surgeon, this is what we want to do. We don't want to put pressure on the surgeon. We're only worried about this close range angles. Now, it's more important to us. We want to just put up pressure on them, maybe quick scope early. So from here, quick scope once, the Tracer is more scared. And maybe they're still going in. Fine, we can maybe catch them, try to sleep dart later. We also have the nade, and this is where you try to live and maybe get to people, or maybe one guy is still and stay alive, and then get back in the fight, turn this around. This is how you see those clutch moments a lot of times because you make those good decisions right there.
Yeah.
I think this is really important. Okay. Well, there's quite a lot of info already. I think what we can do, we have choices. We could try to do a game on some of this stuff, try to apply it. Or if you have any additional questions, well, we could just also continue going over the replay, but up to you. If you want to do the game, we could try. What do you think? Or do you want to continue with the replay?
Um, I think I'd like to probably continue with the replay.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe a different replay.
Yeah, we could do that.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I was thinking, 'cause I can't remember what elo range this was, but I'm assuming it's around the lower like masters, maybe a higher. I have a couple of like higher rated games.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
Um,
anything you want to look at.
okay. Let me see.
Okay, so far to do quick recap. Actions when playing around threats. We can know where threats are, and then position. We can know where threats are and adjust our fire. It just mostly in your case was quick scope. Quick scope versus tracer. Well, maintaining range was important too, but I think was mostly mechanical. Yeah, when you just put more pressure on them. And forcing them to make a move, scouting downtime. Yeah, scouting downtime as well. This is really important too. Okay, let's see the replay.
Sorry, I'm still looking.
Oh yeah, take your time.
Um, okay. What is it? Yeah, we can just do this one. So this one, yeah, this one was a very high rated lobby. I'm gonna send you the code.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I think the first 2 points went fairly smoothly. I know where we struggled was I think maybe we can look at the last 3 points.
Okay.
So
Okay.
third, fourth,
Let's
fifth.
see.
Yeah, so this one had like pro players in it. It's just crazy. I
Oh.
wouldn't expect to get into a lobby like
Oh yeah.
this
Rack attack.
when I was like Masters one. Yeah.
I see. Okay. 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 Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. We got so first you won. Second we won.
Yeah, and then third, fourth,
They start turning
third,
around.
fourth we lost, but and then I think fifth was fairly close.
Okay, so you want to start here?
Yeah, this be good.
Yeah. What do you think about their composition? What do you want to keep track of more in terms of the threats?
Um, Definitely again the beware of the tracer. Um, and they eventually have a Winston. Um, but yeah, their tracer and probably their tank.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Yeah, I think this is one of these compositions where you have this dive poke hybrid at the moment, but you, in my opinion, you win more poke wars still because of the surgeon and actually wait. Well, it's similar. Well, it's similar. They have the diva. So okay, let's just put it this way. This is kind of similar, but your ball is looking for more frequent engagements. Your ball is already more higher tempo. So interesting. Yeah, this is the only difference because the diva they kind of also have this pretty frequent pressure, but the ball they even more frequent tempos. So let's see. You need to find the timings around when your ball is really active. You might just try to do some initial poke. You can try to just force something to happen from the enemy. Yeah, just trying to shoot the tracer, maybe try to shoot
Yeah.
the diva as well. But once they get to you, this is where you will have the sleep dart. You can also try to find good timings with the nade. I think the nade might be tricky versus this comp as well, actually. The nade is pretty
Just
tricky.
a diva.
Yeah, well, diva and mobility as well. They have a lot of mobility with this comp. So, definitely, this is one of these comps where you have to be patient. You have to make sure there's an action. There's an action, they do it, they make a commitment, and we start sowing the nade. Because if we sow it too early, when we don't see or hear stuff, then might be complicated, right? Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. This is stuff. So see, you kind of saw something there. Yeah, there's a guy walking, right? But they just dodge unite right away. You know why?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no commitment yet. There's really tough. Maybe if you hit on the surgeon, it's more reasonable. But this is one where it still might be complicated. This range, and they got mobility too. I think you want to be careful if you aiming. I think the aim was tracer anyway. It was not the surgeon, right? Is this so? Yeah, you saw the tracer. You aim towards the right. If the aim is surgeon, then you move towards the left. But still, it's kind of tricky one. Want to be, yeah, want to be careful. Yeah, when they push, I think they start pressuring. You can just put up more pressure on them, and yeah. So you heal your tracer. This is fine. Maybe right there. Also going for the extra shot if possible on the enemy tracer. Just quick scope them, and then go back towards this. Your tracer still wins. Your tracer still wins the angle, which is good because you at least did one shot on the tracer that was really good on the on your tracer. It's just maybe an additional on the enemy tracer would be even better too.
Mhm.
Uh, well, there's a commitment. You use nano. I think reasonable. They use the E. Well, they use the boosters too. So yeah. That's too early. It's just you're trying to hit them in the midair. Just let them drop. Like you can not exactly drop, but kind of. It's in this case because it's a diva bomb. It's not as similar to the ball when they drop, but you have to kind of. I think you have enough time. Yeah, you still have enough time. When they drop from the Mac, you still have enough time. You can just try to hit the ground. It's more consistent. Again, it's like reasonable. I understand you rushing on the corners, but this is when you would start the animation when they close to the ground. They close to the ground, aim at the ground, similar to ball. When how they land, when they're using their slam, when they're stuck in the air, you just aim at the ground to be able to just catch them. This is kind of similar. You just need to, again, wait for full commitment first. Make sure they're close to finishing the movement after the sowing the sleep dart. And yeah, and then sow the sleep dart after they finish the movement. Mm-hmm. Yeah, does it make sense there, this example, or should I
Yeah, yeah,
explain?
that makes sense.
Yeah, because the small stuff like that, this is what makes the difference. It's again similar idea, but just those small things you can notice. This is again tricky one. Really, what can you do with your nade there? What do you think to be more consistent to make sure you actually have a high chance of landing this nade too? So, mhm.
Wait. Hmm. Maybe I stay up on the high ground.
Yeah,
Um,
I think first you have to stay probably. You have to stay. Okay. Is there anything else?
bubble. But I'm wondering
Bubbles work.
because also like my
Yeah, you
ball's
hit the
HP
ball.
was so
Yeah.
low. I
Hmm.
feel like he could have died at any moment if that sojourn
Hmm.
peaks.
The thing is, what's the intention? The intention didn't seem like it tried to aim at the ball, though. That's my problem, right? You have the intention of going after the angle, which is reasonable, right? But this
Yeah.
this this guy just blocks it. This guy just blocks it. To me, yeah, what's the higher value? If you shut down this because there are multiple people, it's more reasonable, but you can just try to. Let's just put it. How do we put it here? Well, you have multiple people on the angle. You hit Surgeon, you hit Brick. I think those two station targets, but you need first of all, you need to make sure there's a commitment. Yeah, that's what we talked about. Yeah, we want to make sure it's relatively easy. They kind of maybe walk past the corner. They maybe try to shoot your ball, and then you nade them. But if you realize your ball is critical, I think then in this case, landing a nade on him is fine. Yeah, it's just the intention. Because before, the ball HP been kind of fine. It dropped a one shotter. Yeah, it did drop, but the intention was to hit this angle. But you cannot hit if you're on the low ground, first of all. You have to be here and make sure they actually go. You know, you can even think about your teammates like this ball, by the way, a lot of times like a bait. Yes, they're critical, but they're not close to dying. So if you shut down this angle when they commit, overcommit, this might be really nice. Again, it's kind of similar to what we talked about on if you have your proxy position, you might force the enemy to make a move on you. If they make a move on you, then there's a big chance it will be easier for you to land sleep and everything. Because now, yeah, you kind of drop. They had shields. They also just been kind of behind the cover, well, relatively safe. So it might be okay. Just maintain the high ground there. Why not? Okay, what? She got booped by a brick and slapped. This is crazy. But this is definitely commitment, though. This is
Yeah.
bigger commitment because they use the blinks twice. And this guy getting pooped out. Yes. Okay. Got some shots. We just need to put some pressure first. And it is Nate. Not good. Not yet.
Yeah.
A bubble, everything. Okay, I think now this is when you move. You see this? Okay, this is what you sleep. Yeah, I think another
Yeah.
layer is maybe not only we want to keep track on position or cooldowns. I think the big thing about high elo Ana, you have to keep track on ultimates as well and try to shut down those. There's no way if they have a big ultimate, you don't have the sleep. This is a really big thing, I think, as well. Because now they have Nano Surgeon. This is something what can kill your team. Or Nano Winston. This is something what can also kill your team. But I think at this range, at this map, it's more consistent to just Nano Surgeon, probably. That's what you expect. A little bit more. I'm not sure with the buff, actually. Is it valuable? But, I mean, well, it's still, I think, relatively fine. She can do, if she's not headshotting, she can do body shot, a lot of damage. So yeah, yeah, I think sleep dart. Just keep it. Try to track. Are you consistent? Are you consistent tracking any ultimates at the moment? What do you think?
Uh, yeah. I think I don't do it actively, but usually when I do, I usually just gauge by the number of fights that go by without them using it, and kind of estimate if they have it or not.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
But I think here I wasn't really tracking anything.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely the. It's gonna be a huge thing if you can improve that and
Mhm.
make it a consistent habit at the high tier, especially your support. You should be able to track. I think one good exercise you can make is just try to remove all the wall charge from the enemy team, or it doesn't matter who. Just try to remove wall charge and try to just watch these guys do something and predict what they will charge. Just try to predict. For example, I just look at the ball and or maybe you can also look at with the third view. Yeah, look at what he does and then kind of this action happened, stop, remove this, and see, okay, 66% will charge. And he started, oh, okay, I was not, I forgot the number. Yeah, but you get the idea. Just do this exercise in the water view. You can try to maybe spend one time, do it one time, two times per week, and I think this might be good exercise. You just try to watch somebody, try to watch with a third view or from their POV. I think with third view is okay, or maybe from your view as well, because you're in the game, you can just like look at, okay, maybe I'm playing Ana here, and they have deeps on the tracer. You have deeps on the tracer. Okay, let's just try to
Mhm.
track and notice what will charge they might have, and and just kind of play. Yeah, like there's a Tracer in the back line. I think they just trying to rotate towards me. There's yeah, this is still the fighting on the angle a little bit. Maybe for the Winston went back. Yeah, and then you stop and predict their ult charge. What do you think? What's their ult charge now?
The enemy team.
Yeah, this guy, the on your Tracer.
Oh, oh.
Well, yeah, we just removed the ult charge from them. So I mean, it's just like an example, but
My tracer. I have. Well, I have no idea. Uh.
so before, do you remember what was the number?
Oh no.
Just go back. Let's do it again. So we can watch from the third view. Okay. What's your Tracer? Doesn't
Uh-huh.
matter who do you choose. It's just an exercise. Okay. And you can start with just like normal charge, for example. Yeah, this is 84. Yeah, you can see. Okay. And now just watch. Okay, they poked the Winston. Yeah, they went back. And then also stay. Okay, maybe you can stop here. What do you think they will charge now?
I'd say it's probably gone up maybe a good like 10-20% from what it was. She
Hmm.
didn't. She shot the Winston, but
Yeah, just
not
one.
really anybody else.
Yeah, there was one clip. Yeah, so it's like just a
Yeah.
little bit 10%. Yeah, and this is how you do it. You can do well. Maybe watch the entire fight. Maybe watch multiple fights sometimes, but try to make predictions based on that. Just try to see, okay, who's doing what, predictable charge. This way, it becomes easier for you to understand who's gonna use a ult or not, who's gonna have it or not, and then replicate it in the real game too. In the real game, you also will notice that it's more intuitive for you. You will start because you will start tracking the enemy ults. You start tracking who is using what, who just close to some sort of ultimate. It will be easier for you to make a decision to keep the sleep dart or just keep your nade sometimes. Because, for example, now they have Winston ult, they have Tracer Pulse Bomb. Okay, so your decision probably is try to keep the sleep dart for something like that. Yeah, try to make sure that
Yeah.
when the primal goes in, and maybe you can be more proactive about also forcing it out. You can just try to shoot this guy, the Winston, when he comes in. But then when he does, then you can shut him down. And here, they just ended the primal, so it was a little bit tricky as well because they're in the primal form, but they just they escaped out of it, and they have the bubble now, so we probably wait now. But if they would be jumping in you earlier in the primal form, then you can just sleep them, sure. Any questions? Maybe anything?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Because the game sense wise, I think this is gonna help out you a lot if you're able to adjust. You know what they have, you know where the threats are, and then you can adjust your ability usage. Yeah, trying to kind of predict the bubble is gonna break. Well, it was pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty close. I think understandable. Okay. Now the Winston jumped in. This is fine. Commitment. You need to check this side a little bit more just in case. I think. Did we hear the tracers on the main? If it did. Oh well. You can see her. Yeah. So it's fine. Yeah, this is commitment. You can sleep this guy. Yeah. Start walking. Shooting on tracer. Go in the left side. A little bit too
Guys
early.
missed the need.
Yeah, a little bit too early as well, because they can dodge with mobility. If you aim towards the Ana, I'm fine with that. If you aim towards the Tracer, I think you want to be more careful. If she's really short range, then sure. But sometimes when the Tracer, when they see you face to face, I don't think it's a good decision. Remember, when the Tracer blinked, I think there was Ash, so it was kind of the situation where we were sitting in the back, we were sitting in doorway, and the Ash was here. So like the Ash was here. The enemy Tracer went after the Ash. In this case,
Yeah.
it's okay decision because she's not looking at you. But usually when they look, it's I shouldn't do that. Against Ana, sure you can. Doesn't matter because she cannot dodge. But the Tracer, they can see. They can see the animation of your hands, so might be easier for them to dodge. So be careful. Maybe if they make a commitment, then sure. But now they didn't. They just kind of sit, wait. Yeah, and then they might even react, even though you saw the nade. Yeah. So I'm just looking after intentions because to me, hitting or not hitting, it's well, it's whatever. But the intentions are more important. I think the intention to hit the Tracer is not the best right now too. So yeah, have the ult. It's fine. This is alright. So why it's alright? Why the snake is okay?
Oh, why is that nade okay?
Yeah, why it's yeah, because I said it's alright, I guess. So yeah. What
Oh,
is that
because
about?
she ults, so
Yeah,
she's most likely gonna walk forward, do
Mhm.
something aggressive.
Exactly. Because and you also see the body language too. You hear and see. You hear and see it. This is the thing. She picked once, okay, but she still has an ultimate. There's most likely going to be an urge for her to do something. Maybe she will not do something towards you. Maybe she'll try to pick different angle, but most likely she'll try to walk. She'll try to walk, and this is where yes, we make predictions, but we know there's going to be the thing. Yeah. So you hit the snake. That's what happens, and you make them hide. It's fine. Maybe it can be pushed by some of you guys too. Like you can say this surgeon is needed. Yeah, your surgeon can maybe push that. He can just try. They can try to kill. They didn't notice them, but anyway, what is something you can do? That was decent aid, yeah. Yeah, Winston jumps and well, get baited there. Usually,
Yeah.
there's a small mechanic. After they jump, they will try to just jump one more time. So I think this is a commitment for Winston. It would be a jump primal, and then if they jump once again, then you will sleep. If they don't, well, if they don't, then I don't know what they're doing, but well, they probably well if they juggle you, sure. I guess it makes sense to just but to just use the sleep dart. But yeah, you need the commitment. Yeah, yeah. This guy went in. Yeah, this guy knew. I think he's trying to bait a sleep dart. He could have done it with the. Yeah, it's interesting how they really quick jump back, jump in, jump back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Yeah, pretty close game. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is two for two. Was quite a lot. Okay. Any questions about this game or?
Uh, yeah, no questions. It makes sense. I think it's this even in high elo lobbies, it's still a similar pattern to what we just went over in my last game. It's kind
Hmm.
of like the most impactful nades and the ones I actually tend to land more often are when I see action happening
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
instead of
it's
trying to
really
predict.
yeah, really important to emphasize this too. When you actually do land those predicted nades, but it's based on something and it's more consistent. You hear, see stuff, and well, this makes it so much easier for you to just land. Just might be
Yeah.
good to write down well, scouting for scout ultimates. Well, so with ultimates. You need to think what ultimates they got and save abilities position accordingly as well. Yeah, to train the ultimates, to be able to track them. You can do this exercise, you can just try to think about the ult charge, what they got, but is it top of 100 support? Well, GM support. You need to be able to track every ultimate. Well, you need to be able to just 100% know what they're close to. I think the difference, if it's 10%, it's fine. For now, I think. The difference, if you know, okay, they on 70% on one ultimate, so this is not as important compared to like 80% or 90% ultimates because those gonna be in the fight most likely. Yeah, they're gonna get those ultimates in the fight. Whenever you see 80% or yeah, just 80% ult charge, they gonna get the ultimates. This is what's important for you to track. First of all, what they close to and what they have, what they close to, what they have, and adjust depending on that. You also might call it out for your team. Just maybe prepare some certain strategy of how you need to force, how you want to force those ultimates. But first of all, prepare your sleep, prepare your nade, and think what you're gonna be doing about those guys too. Okay, save abilities position. Well, with saving abilities, I definitely want to make sure that you're not just saving, but you're being proactive. Yeah, you're also being proactive with trying to force the action from the enemy. Yeah, this is important. Not just waiting, of course, but forcing the action. Yeah, you can even force Nano Blade to happen. You can force Nano Surgeon to happen. Mostly, it's done through the pressure. You don't just wait to pressure people. You pressure them to do the play, and sometimes it becomes really. They make a stupid decision too. I think so. It's good. Okay. Any other replay for us to look at? We still have time, so yeah, we can look at something else.
Yeah. Yeah, we can. Let me see. Still one. There's a replay where, in my head, I mean, I obviously there's probably a lot of mistakes I made, but
Mm-hmm.
where it was a game where I thought I played really well,
Mm-hmm.
even though we lost. And it turns out, you know who Yeedle is?
Oh yeah, the ball player. Yeah, the tank. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he was doing apparent. I didn't know this was him until I saw him in a Noob Hunter clip. But apparently he was doing an unranked GM on Hazard, and yeah, he just so happened to be passing through our lobby and on the other team.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and I thought I played well this game. But we could see if that's the case. Wait, where is it? I just lost it. Here it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can briefly look, I think, and then later we can summarize. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, interesting. The Hazard is brawl dive character, well, mostly leaning towards the brawl, in my
Mhm.
opinion, because of the he does he does not have as much mobility. Yes, he's mobile, but he's just more short range pressure, the wall as well. So he's kind of brawl dive character to me. And
Yeah,
yeah, well, let's see.
yeah, he was doing some creative because like a Hazard, you can also mantle. He's doing some creative stuff, like kind of like hanging on the ceiling, like mantling on the ceiling. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
interesting to watch.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, this might be one of those targets where you need to keep an eye on that more. Oh, his name is New Doomfist. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What happened with the nade there? Let's see. So there's okay, yeah, remote is critical. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay, there's no commitment yet, so there's no need for sleep. Miss the nade, but intention is fine. Shooting the surgeon makes sense. Again, shooting aggressive angle, similar to the tracer. Okay, probably can just push on the left side. I think. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't think you have to go here because you just need to open up the angle. Need to keep pushing those guys. I think. Just keep up the pressure. By the way, this guy's versus your comp. It's you winning the poke war. Wait, actually, okay. Cass, surgeon. Oh, okay, yeah, your comp might seem just slightly shorter range. I see. Okay, okay. So you're most likely expect those guys, your team, to walk on top of the enemy. This is how you win eventually. I'm just thinking support those brawl angles a bit more if possible. If you see, okay, they push around the corner, prepare to to apply pressure on those positions. I'm thinking this angle for this case, yeah, it's fine because your brawl members, they typically will try to shorter range comms, they will typically try to keep the pressure in the chokes too a little bit more. So you need that pressure in the choke too. You might also have the pressure on here later, but I think high gun's fine. So you just open up the angle instead of walking. Yeah, you open up the angle first, and then you can do stuff. Yeah, early nades are okay. Early nades are okay. Just making sure we get the nade back. Yeah, this is fine. We got the nade back too. Hmm. What was the reason to drop there too? Is it that we expect to push on the left or?
Yeah, I think I'm preemptively expecting the Hazard to close the distance.
Well, what if he is close in the distance? Because we talked about proactive position, right? What
Mhm.
if he jumps on you? Yeah, can you shut him down? Right?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could sleep him. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is what I want you to do more. Try to. You definitely don't want to just die from the hazard. Yeah, you still maintain the range. You maybe move on the angle, but I think it's okay if you force those guys to make a move. And realistically, who can push you? I think the only hazard, he's gonna be one of the most frequent people trying to push you. So it's okay if you force this guy to push you in the space where your team can kill, like in here. You just sleep him. Okay, well your Junkrat, your Armator comes in. This is nice, and you have the sleep dart. So don't give up the position right away. If you don't have sleep, then I think this makes sense. But if you do, then maybe force the action. It's okay. Because this guy, well, they also... Yeah, the nades are fine. I think you could have done more plays around the sleep for sure. Right. Also try to shut down your angle with the wall. Yeah. Right. You see that? Yeah, you kind of didn't have a chance to even use the sleep dart. You need to create that chance for yourself, I think. You just have it. You have it there. Right? The nades are okay. Yeah, here you start walking. So this is a walk on the angle. Okay. This can work. Yeah. This is okay. So see, you wait for the commitment. You kind of being patient there too, even though they use the ultimate. This is nice. Yeah, they catch an predictable pattern towards you. I think this is easy
Mhm.
sleep dart for you. This is decent. You might try to anticipate this though. Usually, dive characters, if you see ever any sort of dive-ish kit on the character, expect them to do stuff like that. If they typically will try to sit on those. I didn't know you could actually stay there. Oh, you just wall climb. Yeah, you just wall climbs
Yeah.
constantly. I see. Okay. Well, you can, but this is probably what you expect from Doomfist or Winston's. They will try to set up on those flanky angles, and as a hazard, I
Yeah.
think it's okay. It's just a little bit too synchronized with the rest of his team. I guess he's trying to like get you and Junkrat there, but yeah, needs to be more action happening from his team. He's just a little bit too early, but it's okay. This is why not? But you can try to expect and also put your attention towards that right away. Maybe you can even cancel the ultimates. Try to just expect them to be on those flanky angles. Can you cancel the ultimate? I think you can, right? Or in the cast, right? Because it takes time to cast.
Um. Yeah, I think so. I've never witnessed it, but yeah, I think so.
Because right in this moment, can you just can? I don't know. I guess because it feels like he just chooses the area, and then those things are going from the... Yeah, we need to test it. I never witnessed that too.
I would imagine so. Probably
Should be similar to
for the
ball.
duration of his voice line, he should be able to. You can probably cancel it. It's kind
Hmm.
of like Malga, I think.
Hmm.
You can cancel Cage.
Hmm. Yeah, but the Mao gets also tricky though. He's like, yeah, once he starts, he can cancel. Yeah,
Mhm.
similar to Ryan. Yeah, so it's just the start. Yeah, I think you're right. It's just the start of animation because the thing is, if you hit them after, I think it's similar to ball. If you hit the ball with a slip and they cast it, and then the animation starts, I think those the balls that the mines they're still gonna release. So even though he slapped, so yeah, it should be similar. Yeah, this is how it is usually. Yeah, if you just right at the start, then it can cancel. It's like versus Ryan's. You can try to just catch them when they start raising the hammer. They say hammer, and you can cancel the ultimate. Yeah, once it's in the middle of the animation. Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah.
Okay. Pull off your angle, sure. Yeah, they're playing smart with this. You need to, yeah, you definitely, they're trying to bait you, and you need to treat it like Winston Bubble. You need to make sure the wall is played. Maybe try to, what can you do is, a small mechanic similar to Diva. Use a melee, I think. Try this out. For example, you can just use a
Nate.
melee, and this way it acts like a nade. For example, yeah, because it looks like the start of the nade animation. They might use wall, and then you can sleep later. Maybe
Mhm.
you can also just shoot them earlier. Maybe make sure there's commitment. They use the wall and then you use it, but be careful because the wall, and your sleep is more expensive compared to wall. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, do you have any questions? Maybe any moments you want me to look at more, or because yeah, I think it would be nice to summarize now. But yeah, is there's anything?
Um. Yeah. No. I think. Yeah. We'd be. I think we're good to summarize now.
Okay, yeah, let's do that then. What we got out of today?
Yeah. It's mainly. I think the big thing for me is just using cooldowns. Um. Specifically, most of the time, at least 90%, 90+% of the time, when I see action, and
Mm-hmm.
less so of just trying to predict things.
Mm-hmm.
Um. And then
Mm-hmm.
also, I mean, one issue I had on that Hollywood game is just using my sleep dart kind of aggressive, like too aggressively.
Mm-hmm. 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 So one, force them to make a move. Yeah, that's a good one. Also, about scouting, yeah, something we mentioned at the start. How to be able,
Oh,
yeah, mm-hmm.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just say like the other, and for the scouting, just a little thing like with at the beginning of rounds, the first 50, after the first 15 seconds, um, just try and find a time to hit tab really quick. If I haven't been able to
Mm-hmm.
see their entire comp yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Pressing tab. Scout the enemy in the poke phase. There was kind of small one, but this is important. This is what you do in relation to scouting. I think you also need to look at, so look at angles where you expect certain threats to be. Yeah, those just gonna be your actions, but you have to do it like, think where the threats are. Yeah, this is your actions when playing around the threats. You need to think where those are and just try to predict, yeah, their position. Yeah, where they are, mm, what their position is gonna be, what
Mhm.
their position is gonna be, and then you can position yourself. You can try to take different position. It's one of the things. You can also try to track their ultimates, think ultimates they got, and save abilities. Save your sleep and nade. Yeah, save abilities and position accordingly. So we'll be able to shut them down. And against racers, divers, you just need to be doing more quick scoping. Yeah, think where sweats are, and you can just quick scope them. Yeah, you can quick scope them more, a little bit more. Just put up
Yeah.
early pressure. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's just this. Okay, I'm gonna put it in here. Quick scope. Is there anything else?
Um. Well, I guess it's more just a general point, like towards flankers. I should, even in higher elo lobs, I should still be trying to shoot them.
Of
'Cause
course,
that'll
definitely.
help keep me alive.
Definitely, yeah. To stay alive against any sort of pressure, the pattern is always you never ever want to stay passive towards the action from their team. Yeah, you have to either put some pressure or yeah reposition, but definitely big thing is how you put up on the pressure. Maybe it's through using your abilities in different spots, sometimes like using the ultimate, but also just shooting. Yeah, shooting, what the pattern is, we need to shoot those angles more, the close range angles for sure, so they will not close the distance with you. This is pretty important too. But yeah, you need to be more proactive in a way. Yeah, try to make sure that the action is happening. Yeah, make it harder for them to do stuff. Okay, so it was mostly about this. Mm. But so far, I think the positioning is fine. Well, it's relatively fine. The nate's been decent, I think, compared to sleep. That is something you want to keep an eye on more, I think.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, mechanics are fine. right for now. So yeah. Any final questions, maybe?
Well, this one is yeah. I have a question, but it's more for just longer term.
Hmm.
Um, what would be like a good regular